Hey investors, welcome back. Think of your favorite product, an Apple iPad, a Chipotle burrito, a Gucci handbag, or my personal favorite, a Tesla Model S. All of these things are products that can be purchased at a certain price. But who sets the price? Who decides how much we pay for something? Who decides how much something is worth? Let's take my Tesla Model S as an example. A fully loaded Tesla Model S new would cost roughly $110,000. Let's say that's what it's worth to me too, so I would call that my intrinsic value for the Tesla. So let's say I walk into a Tesla store and they're only asking $20,000 for a brand new Tesla. I would instinctively know that the price that they were asking was far below the true value or the intrinsic value. And if I walked in the next day and they were asking $1 million for the Tesla, I would clearly walk away because the price that they were asking was way above the intrinsic value. One of Warren Buffett's most successful investments ever was a stock called PetroChina, the largest oil company in China. He invested $500 million into the company that turned into $3.5 billion, billion with a B. In a rare interview, he provided clues into the process he used to evaluate the investment. So take a look at the clip below and see if you can learn some of Warren Buffett's secrets.
For the average person who's maybe never bought a stock before, what's your advice about that? You can't constantly sit there and wait and say, oh, it's going to go higher, it's going to go higher.
We don't even think about that. What we think about is how much is it selling for, how much do we think it's worth? When we bought it at $35 billion effectively, I felt the company was probably worth at least $100 billion.
How did it come to your attention? How do you find a stock like PetroChina?
I sit there in my office and I read an annual report, which fortunately was in English, and it described a very good company. And told about the oil reserves, told about the refining, told about the chemicals, everything else. And I sat there and read it, and I thought to myself, this company is worth about $100 billion. Now, I didn't look at the price first. I look at the business first and try and figure out what it's worth, because if I look at the price first, I'll get influenced by that. So I look at the company first. I try to value it, and then I look at the price, and if the price is way less than what I've just valued it at, I'm going to buy it.
And how do you value it?
Well, that's the trick. Yeah. But it's essentially what I would pay for the whole business if I could buy it. And when we sold the stock, it was valued, we'll say, at probably 250 to 275 billion.
Note that Warren Buffett makes a crucial distinction into what the business is really worth and what the stock is trading at. He said he doesn't even look at the stock price. He first looks at the business and its numbers and then calculates what he feels to be the intrinsic value. After that, he looks at the stock price. And the goal of great investors is to buy a stock whose market value or price is much below the intrinsic value, just like Buffett did with PetroChina. In this unit, we'll walk you through some of the ways investors are able to calculate the intrinsic value of companies.